Good afternoon. Made it into Regina. So this is the first time I've played in Saskatchewan before. Whenever I've toured out east, I've ended up missing Saskatchewan. So I played in Manitoba and then in Ontario and things like that, but never actually in Saskatchewan. And on this tour we have 2 dates. This is the first date of the tour, but we started the drive last night. We made it to Edmonton. We left Grand Prairie super late, so we were in Edmonton at like 2 in the morning, and then we had to wake up and hit the road to finish the drive. We were on the road by about like 9 in the morning. So now we're here and we've made it to the venue. We've actually loaded in. Didn't really film much today. There's not a whole lot going on besides driving, and you can really only put so many driving sequences into the videos. This is the venue, Cloud 9. Couple stairs, no big deal. However, this isn't the load-in area. So that's our vehicle on the road there, and we have to take the gear out into here, and then we gotta hike it up these stairs. It takes some doing. And then once you've done that, you're in the venue. So this is the Cloud 9 in Regina, Saskatchewan. Backstage area, which it works. It's nice to have a spot that's like not in front of the crowd to have to set up. It's actually a pretty sweet little venue. Like they got a whole couch area, which pretty nice little vibe. Today was relatively productive sitting in the van. That little desk thing helped out so much. I was actually able to edit a video. Problem being, I don't really have Wi-Fi, so I haven't been able to upload the video yet. This is still back from Loud as Hell stuff. But on this tour, I'm gonna try as much as possible and see if I can edit a video a day. Probably not gonna happen, but I'll give it a shot. On the road, you don't always have a change room, so sometimes you gotta make do with what you got and head out to the trailer and do it. I can feel my skin burning. You light the fire in me, got no regrets. Shoes on, suited up. First, before we go into the venue though, I want to show you guys something. I'm not sure if it's Regina or the area of town that we're in, but there's a lot of really nice brick buildings. This is, once again, Kevin in a different city looking at buildings. Woo! See? More brick. Nice brick buildings over here, around this corner. Some more brick buildings. I just think brick buildings look cool. The date today, first day of the tour, August 30th, on the Value Village. They've already got it up saying Halloween is here. I don't know what it is about holidays, but as soon as Halloween is done, then the Christmas stuff is gonna come out. Unreal. You jumping the gun a little bit, I'll say, Value Village. No one is that crazy stoked about Halloween that they need to buy their costume a couple months in advance. And then, of course, the Cloud 9 building, also brick, but check out inside too. Okay, so this is the staircase into the venue. It's kind of neat, it's like super rustic. It reminds me of Amsterdam a little bit. They have a lot of brick buildings, and it's kind of neat. Staircases. Another one for the books. Feels good to have the first show out of the way. And it's always fun to play in a new town. Like I said, this is the first time playing in Regina, let alone all of Saskatchewan. The venue is really sick. Like, I like the interior. I love all the brick on the walls. It gives a really nice rustic sort of look. Beyond that, I mean, it was a pretty standard set. It's really fun too to play in new venues. Every stage is different. So this one was a bit of a smaller stage. So you get to figure out, okay, so how should I be moving around? So there's less like back and forth moving on this stage and more just like rocking out in place. The sound in the venue was really good, and a lot of people were coming up to us after saying it sounded great, which is like, I mean, it's partly in our control, but the rest of it is really in the hands of the sound guy. So thank you, sound guy, for making us sound good. Beyond that, there was nothing too crazy about the show. Okay, except for one story. This isn't really our story though, but the band that we're touring with right now, Becomes Astral, they kind of set up this tour. The bass player for Becomes Astral, Liam, works for Nomadic Arts, and they're like a booking agency, and so anyway, they were on a tour in the States, and that was the last one that their singer did. He was supposed to do this tour, but then he decided he couldn't make it work, and he quit the band. So they found a singer on short notice, Regan. He played in a band called The Evulsion. Found him like 2 or 3 days ago, and not only did he learn the set in that time and come out to the show, he hitchhiked to the show. So he's from Lethbridge. He hitchhiked all the way here, and it worked out fine. But that's absolutely crazy. I think the guy's such a legend for doing that. And he did really well, despite only having a couple days to learn the material. He did extremely well, and they played really well. It wasn't the craziest night tonight for attendance. Sometimes, you know, there'll be more people, sometimes there'll be less people, but we sold a bunch of shirts, which is nice, and again, like, people were coming up telling us that it sounded awesome and they were stoked on it. So that's kind of really all that matters to me, is like, if a couple people show up and a couple people like it, then we're good, and if we do better than that, even better. So tonight was a success in that regard. After the shows, I like to take off and walk around and wander, because it's like, it's nice to unwind, and right now the spot where I'm at, it's kind of like, it's in an alley behind the venue, but it's so calm, it's almost eerie. After a show, everything is like, you know, everything's so chaotic and so high energy during the show. It's nice to come and chill, and this is like, it's nice, it's interesting. You know, of course, got the nice brick buildings and everything. So the promoter, KJ Events, right away, like, he came in wearing a cattle decap shirt, and I was like, oh, this guy knows what's up. And he was nice enough, he's letting us stay. So right now we just finished packing up and down the tiny narrow staircase, and so now we're gonna find a place to crash, which by crash is more like a glorified nap, because tomorrow we gotta head to Calgary. Actually, the Blind Beggar, so that spot that we played on the last tour, we get to play it again, which I'm pretty pumped for. And this time it's on a Friday, because last one was a Thursday. Either way, it'll be a great time playing with some great bands, of course, Becomes Astral, who we're on tour with. So I'm gonna get running, we're gonna get out of here, find our place to sleep, so I will see you all tomorrow. Deuces.